Hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. Exactly. I thought it would be in the afternoon, and then people told me the mountain bike rules are on, and to be honest, nobody was signing up for races other than these, so I thought we would do this one. First time doing Zwift tiny races, Zwift Insider tiny races. Also escaping the weather, which is a little bit unfavourable today. Need I say no more? Myself and Lewis are racing possibly together, depends if we're capable of racing together or if communication breaks down and we end up bottling it. But I'm sure it's going to be good fun, regardless. Conscious that people will be watching the stream, so I will try and communicate with stream and Lewis at the same time. So yeah, where are we? Let's join the event. Lots of people signed up. Going for a different kit so that myself and Lewis are easily spotted. Morning Ethan, morning Tom, morning all. Interesting races these, by the looks of things. Short, sweet, lactate aplenty. And by the looks of it, the 4 races are sprint, sprint, sprint and sprint. No, it does look like race 1, 2 and 4 are a little bit spicier than race 3. Race 3 looks like a bit of a flat one. This one is quite undulating, as you know New York is like that. The second race after this one is up the Neokyo draftable KOM inside the city there, and then the final one is like a 1 minute punch at the bottom of Box Hill. So yeah. Now the actual plan today, before this kind of rainstorm came in, was I was gonna travel over to Lewis, and we were gonna do a training session together of some hill climb intervals around about 5 to 8 minutes in length. But that plan fell through. Lewis lives in West Wales, so I would have driven just a little bit down the road, closer towards the sea and closer towards the storm. So instead, we've decided to do this, the 4 tiny races, which in theory, if raced hard, would not so much give the same sort of benefits, but you know, a little bit of fun, plus a little bit of chaoticness, plus we might get some similar stimulus from it, depending on how hard you go. At least the effort to be very natural, so as opposed to what I was planning on doing today was the session that I favour quite a lot, when you hit the bottom of a climb, you sprint for about 20 seconds, and then you settle into about 105, 110% of FTP for about 2.5 minutes, 2 minutes 40. And then you take a 30-minute sort of zone 2, zone 3 break, and then you immediately go into 2 to 2.5 minutes of again, 110% of FTP. So it's a bit of a disjointed effort, but one that I've loved doing. I'm usually about 4 or 5 reps. Well, my toes getting smaller and smaller. Lots of familiar names in this event. I wish you all good luck. Been a long time since I've raced against people that I'm familiar with and know. So cheers to catching up virtually. 2.5 minutes to go. Where's my phone? I need to remember to keep in touch with Lewis. I will communicate with Lewis likely through the stream for general information, but anything secret I will text. Who's in the race I know of? Lots of people. There's lots of people here, so just keep an eye on everybody. What do you mean, Michael? I might just start again. And make sure my shoes are properly done up this time. Like yesterday I started the race with my boas weren't even done up. Out of choice, I was warming up with loose shoes. I was just spinning and then I realised they weren't done up, so I don't want that to happen on a short event like this. Okay, alley up. Lots of riders, 80 riders. That's a stunning size field. Fair play. Oh, this is going to be fast. Oh, it's in bits there, look at it. It's just, that finish is so difficult. And it's such a drag, and then it like plateaus. And then it's not over until get across the line, really. Oh. That race was less than 10 minutes. I'm just going to come across the line now, Lewis, and see what that finished leaderboard looks like. It's good though, because some guys jumped straight away. Hey, Piglet. Oh. Yeah, so big names jumped basically straight away. Just before, like, probably just where I was peeling off, or just as soon as I was done with the effort, it went straight over the top of it. Nice one, Lewis. On to the next one. 4.5 minutes until race number 2. Nice one, Mike. I don't know how fast that was actually. I don't know what the average speed was. Must have been very quick. Sorry, Catastrophe, you must have missed the start. It's I'm just riding with Lewis, trying a few things, so seeing what happens. Supposed to ride with them today, like I said at the start, and the weather changed, so we rather than doing an outdoor training session together, we're doing these 4 races back to back, so it's all good. Whew. Strange race, the next one. I think we'll keep the same idea for the next race. Now, I didn't attack, I was just pulling hard. It wasn't an attack. It was a bad attack if it was an attack. No, I can't race this evening, no. We used to call, if that was an attack, we used to call attacks like that the power creep, where you just creep away with a little bit more power, then all of a sudden, whoa, you just sprint when you've got like a 30 meter gap. It never works. Spoiler. Okay. 2 minutes. Let's get on over there. Gnocchio. it's just too fast, I think. Like, I think it's just it increases the stress, because you've got to not only you're trying to ride the categories above, you're trying to ride with your own category, but if there's riders there who are, I don't know, doing more raw watts and everything else, then that's kind of, especially on a course that's so fast. Nah, I don't like cocoa. The Zwift has crashed on me now, hasn't it? Oh no, we just made it. How long is this one? 5 kilometers? Oh my word. Everywhere we go through, all the gangsters around them are both rode it down like we're supposed to. Well, this is going to be horrible, this one. A draftable climb. I wouldn't call it a hill finish necessarily, but it's yeah, it's going to be a tough one, this one. My PC doesn't like racing in this world. Dangling at the back. How long was the last climb stream, do we know? Can't be that long, can it? 3k maybe? Maybe less than that. I'm not 100% sure how we get like on it. I mean, I know the climb, but I don't know the lead in really. Well, I won't win, so I don't know if it is worth watching. If you were to see me win, you'd never watch. Because I rarely ever win. And that's a fact, actually. Unless it's an out and out sort of hill climb where there's very few people. Or if it's a very, very long event. That's the truth though, unfortunately. Okay, we're getting closer now, I'm sure. Wow, this climb's a lot shorter than I thought then. Move up. Close to max heart rate. Oh, that was Mac. Oh, nice and Lewis. Yeah. Oh. Well, that was about as much as I could manage at the end. Happy that I could still stand to get out of the saddle. Usually that's usually the death of me, like. So it's quite a hard pace all the way up, and then to accelerate off of that, that's hard effort. Oh, congrats everyone, good job. Oh, I don't know who won. I was too busy trying to breathe to have a look at the results there. Oh. Oh. My hip flexor is getting tight. Oh. Yeah, obviously, it's easy to say that, and it looked like I got more to give. Maybe it's because how fast my recovery is, but when you've been riding a bike for like 13 years, then your recovery should be pretty quick, to be honest. No offense. It's a different type of effort, that. Oh. It's a cool thing about cycling is there's so many different disciplines and there's so many strengths. There's so many arms to it. Like, that's why freaks of nature like Matthew Van Der Poel and Tom Pidcock and Wout van Aert, who can do multiple disciplines, is a very rare feat. Flash route of the day starts with a ride into the desert from downtown. Goes power with the rock art and sprint for the custom finish line beneath the huge rocks as you enter the ghost town. That's good enough. It's good enough, Michael. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're digging yourself a hole for those 2 minutes, yeah, but a lot of that is mental, isn't it? The sprint side of things. You know, there's a reason why the stories you hear about, like Sir Chris Hoy, about throwing up after every single sprint in his interval session. It's a whole different thing, you know, physiologically and psychologically. Yeah, that's a good shout, Lewis. There's a big effort in that race, that one. So, yeah, I would say, I think that was the plan anyway, isn't it? But, yes, I agree. Morning, Liam. Welcome to the Saturday morning live stream. The mathematics. Oh. Mad how warm it is in here, and it's still like early in the day. Oof. How long is this one? 6.8 kilometers. So a big sprint. Big sprint time. Oh my word. Someone's just accused me of sitting in my comfort bubble. Wow. Everyone's behind you, Spiky Mikey. Everyone in the race is behind you, quite literally. Oh no. Actually, I think you're probably going to say they're ahead of you. Mario Kart start sucks. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, these races are brutal. Great training for me specifically, but I'm sure for everybody. All right. Anyway, 30 seconds. Well, the World Champs are on. Funny enough. This afternoon will be good, won't it? This afternoon will be good. I'm going to say Pidcock, I think. I think Pidcock would be a good shout. Oh. Oh. The last one then, Lewis, and the last one is probably the most brutal, right? 1 minute flat out effort at the end, I think, up a climb. Oh. I think I'm going to join this one early, see if I can get a little bit closer to the front. Still up there though, Lou? It's still up there. Oh. Michael Harron's back for more. Oh. Desperately trying to cool off. I'm absolutely dripping. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate the breakdowns. It's very helpful. Yes, John. I think they do. Well, that's right, Mike. I mean, the repeatability. I mean, it's definitely trainable when you do events like this. The thing is, you're doing, you know, such hard, short efforts, and you know they are back to back, and you know you've only got a couple of minutes rest between. It's definitely, you know, it's a sharp, vicious stimulus, you know, in such a short time frame. You know, that's quite rare, really. And they're all different as well, so it's not like doing like Bell Lap or, you know, the Champs-Élysées and, you know, the Seaside Sprint maybe in Watopia. Like, it's, you know, these are completely different to that. No, the time comes along quick. Alright, last one, chat. It'll be done in 10 minutes. And we will catch you in the next live stream. It's been a pleasure, Lewis. Have a good one, this last one. Good effort right at the end. Should give you a strong finishing position as well, probably. Yeah, definitely, Darren. Brilliant training. I'm like right at the end of my week now, and I've done back to back days. and time trialing in the evening as well. So this is a real, yeah, this is really pushing me. As you can probably tell, I'm blunt. I feel blunt, and that's normal. Yeah, I have done Nile, yeah. Well, not actual, not what you'd call a 10-minute test. I've just done an effort that's been about 10 minutes. It was quite low, to be honest. I think it was about 395, I think. So a lot of work to do there. Shocked me a little bit, actually. It's good to know that still not giving an inch. Good job, Lewis. Oh, I can't move up. I'm on the limit now. There he is, the position. Oh, hang on. It's bunched up. Blown. Oh my word. Wow. Oh, I feel so bad at the minute. Literally can't animate anything. Oh, I'm struggling. Right, okay. Patience, Ed. You gotta be patient. It's not the national championships this weekend. Come on. Not good enough. Well done, everybody. That was good racing. Very hard racing. Well. Well done, Lewis. Good effort, buddy. Just messaged me now saying you left it a tad too late. Felt like you had lots more to give. Good sign, good sign. Sorry I couldn't be more help throughout the races, but there we are. Got to accept the position we're in. Got to accept that we've got a lot to do. yeah, 200 watt, well 600 watts isn't enough really, is it? But people are doing at least 800 watts up there surely, because it was still a sprint at the end of the day rather than like an uphill finish, I think. What will I do now if I'm struggling? Well, the thing is, you know, I'm not fatigued. I'm just not fit. I've got no form, and I'm just not fit. And I'm not like joking when I say that. That's a genuine observation, because doing so much endurance stuff that I've done throughout the year, and then I've been ill a couple of times, like a lot more than normal, and I took a week and a bit off about 2 weeks ago because I had a really bad chest infection, which really knocked me out, and came back from that, and I've just not been the same since. And I'm perfectly healthy now, but I'm just I'm well off the pace, so it's yeah, there's a lot of work to do in that respect, but you know, we're on the path, we're working towards it. So, you know, if I was really tired, like, the thing is, the only fatigue I'm feeling is my legs are incredibly sore, just from the load that I've had this week, and it's the first sort of big loading week I've had for a long time because of the endurance event. So I'm feeling it extra more than usual. So the fatigue I'm feeling is leg fatigue. I'm getting awesome sleep, I'm eating really well, everything's perfect. And in this situation, you know, if I was feeling tired in other departments, I would certainly take 2 days off. That's usually what I do. Bare minimum, I would take 2 days off to reset. But in this situation, I take a day off, and then that's usually enough for me to recover from a week of training load, like I've had the last week, because you recover quite quick at this level. So it's because as well I've done morning and evening sessions. That's something else to factor in. So I've done a time trial on Thursday night, which then, you know, on Friday morning or on Friday afternoon or Friday evening, if you then do another session, you know, that adds on top of it because you haven't had like a full day to recover as such. And then obviously we're now into Saturday and I'm doing it again, and these races are not easy, obviously, so it's putting it into perspective, and you've always got to be mindful of that fatigue build up. But to be honest, it's not bad fatigue. Like I said, if other things were going wrong, you know, like if sleep was impacted, that's one of the first things I noticed. You know, if my sleep has gone to crap, then I know there's something wrong. And I've had a couple of questions in the past, people asking me if I use Whoop or if I use Garmin or heart rate variability. I don't use any of that. And it's probably only because I've been riding for long enough that I kind of know the signs of things myself, so I know when I've done too much, I know when I'm, you know, pushing the boundaries a bit too far. But in this situation, it's purely tiredness from just, you know, intensity and obviously riding my bike. So I just need to keep training. Actually, in this circumstance, it's not the rest. It's more training until I ride myself back into fitness and then eventually into form. You hear people talk about riding themselves into form, or specifically racing themselves into form, particularly like professional athletes, and that's what they mean. You know, they can be fresh, they can be fit, and then they don't have any form. So at the minute I don't necessarily have any fitness or any form, so I'm still trying to find fitness, and then once I find that, it's form becomes easier to achieve, because you know you've got the fitness, and then mentally it's almost like a switch. You're like, you know, or you can just take 2 or 3 days to reset, to maybe hit like a local climb you want to do, or to do a time trial or whatever it may be, and that gives you that little spurt of form. And it's more like peaks and troughs rather than, you know, unless you're training for the Tour de France or World Championships, where you obviously build a big peak and trough, whereas, you know, it's especially hill climb season, it's more like little peaks and troughs. So have I got enough time until nationals? Well, I don't know. I don't know that. I would hope so, but it's a long way away, so I would hope so. You know, that's a genuine worry. It's a genuine concern. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't worried that I won't be fit enough for nationals. And that's really hard to believe. Like, at the minute, there's no sign of me whatsoever achieving the performance I want to achieve. That's the harsh reality of when you're trying to achieve something you set out to do. And that could apply to you, it could apply to me, it can apply to anybody. That if you feel like you're not in good enough shape right now in this moment, it's incredibly hard to see yourself being in a position where you can be the best climber in the UK, or the best time trialist in the UK, or, you know, win that race you want to race, or do the fastest time on a certain course, or whatever it may be. Like, it's really hard to imagine that, but I know that it will happen. You know, I know that I will improve. The rate at which I improve, I have no idea. All I can do is plan things out the best as I can, and then execute on those plans. And if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, then that's the reality we have to accept of the situation. I wasn't going to do Swindon Hill Climb, no. That's it, John. Sometimes it can be 2 days, sometimes it can be 3 or 4 days. But in the grand scheme of things, 4 days is nothing really, is it? My attitude is, you know, you take a day off, you don't notice anything. You take 2 days off and you're like, oh, I noticed something. And you take 3 or 4 days off and you're like, oh, yeah, I'm ready now. You know, that almost feels like that's the tipping point. You know, and you take 5, 6, 7 days off, and that's when you start to notice, you know, the absence of cycling in your life then, really. Certainly in my case. Trust the process is true, Ian. Target watts per kilo is pretty scary for the nationals. It has to be the same, if not more, than what I did on Hay Tour, which would have been about 7.2 watts per kilo for 11.5, 12 minutes. Obviously, I'm a long way off that currently. But the problem with the struggle is it's steeper than Hay Tour, but then it flattens off more than Hay Tour. So it's a strange one. You know, it's gonna suit riders with big raw power as well as watts per kilo. So you know, it'd be very difficult, I think, to see someone winning it with a lower average power than 420 watts. You know, Tom Bell is one of the smaller riders, you know, in both height and weight probably, but he's, in terms of, you know, a hill climber in the top 5 or 10, he generally is on the shorter side, I think, of the others. And his build is around 55 kilos, and he'll probably do 400 watts, and I would expect that would be the lowest, that would be the bare minimum to get in the top 5. And I know you can talk about watts per kilo, but it's the raw power number that will effectively get you over that flat section as well quick enough, because that flat section is fairly significant. You won't believe it, but it's 1.5 minutes in length. And Hay Tour was only something like 45 seconds, so it's double the length. So it's really significant. So it's not just the weird thing with the struggle is it's a hill climb, but it's way more than that. And getting aero on it is very important. You know, I'll be wearing aero socks like I wore them on Hay2. I'll be wearing a skin suit. Thankfully, I'm probably one of the most aerodynamic climbers. Anyway, so that's something that's going for me. I've mentioned sleep. If you start having bad night's sleep, let's say for a few days in a row, you usually back up a bit, or it depends. Yeah, it depends, but it depends. It's quite, usually sleep is the first thing. Because, you know, for example, if you do, so an example would be when I was racing and I was doing stage races and we were doing, say, a week long race, and we were racing like 4 hours every day. And you know, you'd get more and more tired every day. There'd be some riders who, as they go through the week, their sleep would become deeper and they would actually sleep better because they're getting tired. But then I was one of those riders that I would actually go the other way. My sleep would kind of get worse. I would struggle to get to sleep, and then it would be really difficult. I don't know if any of you have actually heard, this is a slight tangent, an interview with Gary Neville and Dele Alli. So it's a football interview on like sleep medication and stuff that Dele Alli was relying upon, and how that's really big in cycling as well. I think it's you know, I've never taken sleeping medication, but I can see how it would be something that people would do, especially if they were desperate to recover and get that night's sleep. But I certainly wouldn't recommend going down that route. The easiest way to resolve that is to actually take, you know, 1 or 2 days off the bike, just to kind of, even if you're just giving yourself, your body just that extra, you know, 1 hour if that's what you're riding every day, or 2 hours if you're riding 2 hours every day. You're giving your body the extra 1 or 2 hours every day for the 2 days, just to take a break from burning calories, and also from recovering from training. So Lewis is still there. Is the downhill enough to freewheel? Yes, you will reach 30 mile an hour probably. And there's a few little corners as well. Do you think replacing my threshold sessions with hilly Zwift races would be better to get more on myself? It depends if you if you find that motivating. I'm not very good at threshold sessions. I find them quite demotivating, doing them on my own, because they're quite hard, and also, like, you know, you've got to concentrate. If you do use Zwift hilly races, be careful not to get sucked into going too hard, but also try and find races that allow you to progressively overload. So say you're usually used to doing 3 by 10 minutes at threshold, try and find a race that allows you to do that, or try and find a climb that you can do which then, you know, 2 by 20 minutes, and then 3 by 15 minutes, and, you know, think about how you can progress the effort and the session within the race. If people aren't happy with you doing it, just suggest that you can ride on the front of the group. If the group is, say, you know, 20 riders and it's a flat race, just pull a threshold for 10 minutes on the front of the group, just to drag the group along, give everybody a wheel to sit on, and then rest for like 5 or 10 minutes, and then do it again, and you know, keep pulling. And that's one way you could do it on a flat course. There's actually quite a few ways of doing it, isn't there, really? But Oh my word. If you're going on vacation for a week, what sort of training should you do before you go? To be honest, I wouldn't overly worry about it, because unless you're training for some like really short event, you're not really going to lose much over that week. If you were training for like a really short event, like say a 3-minute event or something, you might lose the top end, that high end power. But if you're just training for like, you know, general health or fitness or whatever, like, or just you know, trying to achieve you know, those longer power durations, you're not going to lose enough in that week to need to do more before you go away for that week. It'll probably do you more good. Yeah. Make the marathon my goal for 2024. Yeah, that'll be a good one now. Yeah, you do want to finish strong for those last couple of minutes there. That's the steepest bit of the climb. So yeah, start for the first 9 minutes, maybe to give yourself progression over time. Start by doing less power, so you've got more to give on those last couple of minutes, and then gradually over time, as you progress, you know, try and do more power in that first segment and keep the last segment as it is. Look, sorry guys, I'm gonna have to shoot, but I do appreciate your company as always, and Lewis as well, who jumped into that was a few races with me. That was completely unexpected in a sense that we were supposed to do it this afternoon. I apologise. Enjoy the rest of your day. The mountain bike world, whatever it is you be watching, I hope you are enjoying the World Championship. Actually, it's I certainly am, and I will catch you in a video soon. See you around.